Hey, welcome to Squares of the Roundtable podcast. I'm Jeff Stein, and with me this week is Mike Boyle.
Hey.
And Ivan is at the Coles, and he's doing a set. He's doing something. So we have with us our news correspondent and all-around phenomenal fourth host, the one and only Scott Brown.
Good evening.
Scott!
Thanks for having me on again, Jeff and Mr. Edwin.
Yeah.
Ding ding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed. Like I said, and I think, unless you and Ivan do a show, Mike, this might be the last one for the year, right?
We think, I don't know if we'll get one in more before the New Year's, but I think this is going to be the last one of 2019.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take a couple weeks off. And then,
for the holidays.
For the holidays. So that
have to get the best of the year for the start of the year.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We should start there. There'll be a lot of stuff we can talk about, because by the time we get started, there's going to be a lot of material. I mean,
we'll have some subject talk about for sure.
Yeah.
So how you been, Scott? You've been on. You haven't been on in a while.
Yes.
No, I haven't, and I haven't really done all that much. Like my usual, I just hang putter around the house. A couple of times been down to Brooklyn to do some work on the apartments, and other than that, just really not doing a whole bunch of anything. Unfortunately, with TV, I've been mostly like watching the football games.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Why? Who are you rooting for anyway?
Well, my teams are the Giants and Jets and Bills.
Giants.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm a New Yorker. Sorry, Jeff. Sorry, guys. The Pats. And the Bears. Who, once again, the Bears did not show up for the game.
Can you ask me a question?
Yeah. I'll try.
Why do you have to tape Cincinnati? I mean, if you're going to cheat, you're going to tape somebody. Why do you cheat? What do you
on the Cincinnati Bengals?
With one game. One game. They only won one game. That's one more than me, and I don't play football.
I don't understand that either. Yeah. They have a good team. They don't have to do that stuff.
So why do the Cheatriots have to deflate the balls?
Yeah, well, that's because they don't have any.
Ooh,
probably so.
Ooh.
But no, I mean they're not my first team. I grew up in Western New York, so of course they had the Bills.
They're having a good season.
Yes, they are.
They're having a good season. That's a big game. I think this weekend is Bill. Is it in
Bills
is it
and
in
Pats?
Buffalo?
I don't know.
I don't know. I can look. Hold on.
But yeah, Bills have a good team. So It would be the Bills, Giants, and Jets. Now, because of the property of Massachusetts, I sort of threw the Pats in there. I'm not all about football anyway. But
yeah, me neither.
Oh, it's in New England. That's never good.
But, the Bears didn't do so well. Because I live in a region, Jeff can relate to this as well because he's on the North Shore, but I'm right on the Illinois-Wisconsin border. So we have a lot of traitors in our midst here. There's one thing worse than a Packer fan. It's an Illinois Packer fan.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I've got family who are from this side of the border that were Packer fans, and I'm like, but you live in Illinois. Yeah. What? No.
And worse, I have friends who have moved to Wisconsin, and they've become Packer fans. It's like they got eaten by the pod people.
Yeah, well.
Got smothered in cheese.
Yeah.
I was going to say, are you sure they weren't eaten by those people themselves?
See, when we were in Chicago, when I lived in Chicago, the Bears had a good team. We won the damn Super Bowl. The only thing that drove you nuts, in a way, you're lucky the Bears are losing. Because during that one season, where we were going through the playoffs and the Super Bowl and all that, you couldn't turn on a radio, you couldn't turn on a television or anything without hearing that damn Super Bowl shuffle.
I think there's one in every Illinois household at this point. There's a copy of the 45.
I did have one until we moved, in fairness. I still had the video.
Yeah, I have a copy here in this house.
I had a copy of the video, and that was
it's like anything else, any other song, no matter how good it is, if they're playing it every 5 damn minutes, you get sick of it in about a day. And you couldn't turn on the TV. You could flip the channels, and on 5 of the 7 channels would be the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Would be you heard that? It's like, okay.
But I
will tell you though, that's
a
phenomenal
great
thing to throw on anytime you got Packer fans nearby because they just cringe.
Play it at that garbage dump you called Soldier Field.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Which I don't know which is worse, the old Soldier Field or from what I see of the new Soldier Field.
At this point, now we're close to the end of the season now. So, what teams? I'd like to know who are your guesses for the Super Bowl this year? At this point,
God,
I'd have to say the way they're going, New England. There's a little if on there because they haven't been as sharp as they should be. But I think New England's going to be one.
I'm shocked by this revelation.
See, the thing about New England that's interesting is up until now, this is the first year that I've ever seen where there's a team other than the Patriots in their division with a good team with a winning record.
I'd love to see the Bills get in.
Right. Well, but that's the key. That's the point I'm getting at is it's like, okay, so what ends up happening is they beat up on all those 3 teams. They win their division. And so they're able to have a decent enough record where they get to bye. And they'll at least get 1 game at home. And if the other team doesn't happen to win or something or something along those lines, somehow they're always able to figure out a way to get home field advantage. And, because of the fact that sometimes they get to play, they play sometimes in the later game, which is the evening game, and you're playing in Foxborough, which is like colder than death at night. I mean, that's not a place really in reality that you should be playing a night game in January. And yet, hey, guess what we're doing? So, yeah.
Buffalo could be just as bad.
Yeah.
I grew up not too far from Buffalo. It could be just as bad.
Look.
And they have phenomenal amounts of snow.
But the difference is Buffalo hasn't been to a Super Bowl since the night, hasn't been a decent team in a while. And so that's the problem. Is that would be great. I don't know. I'll tell you that game between New Orleans and San Francisco the other week was amazing. Where San Francisco pulled it out like 48-46. That thing was insane. I think the NFC we're talking Seattle, New Orleans, and San
Seahawks
Francisco.
Are doing good.
And then out in the AFC, New England will make it just because they're New England. And then the Ravens have been good.
Buffalo
has been solid. I think Buffalo's going to make it.
I think Buffalo has a chance to beat New England. New England's offense isn't that great.
Right, that's the interesting part is Buffalo has a chance. I think if they can beat New England, I think they have a chance to actually win the division, which would mean the Patriots would finally be on the road, which would be huge. Trying to remember who else is. I don't know who's winning the AFC. It's got to be Kansas City, right? Kansas City's winning the AFC East, and then it's either the Houston Texans and the Titans. Titans have been playing real well lately. Houston has beaten the Patriots and a couple other teams soundly, so they've been good. we'll see. I think this year's kind of up in the air. I'm curious to see how it goes.
I know it won't be the Bears or the Cheeseheads.
It won't be. It doesn't look like it's going to be my Colts either.
Sorry to say.
Yeah. No, but unfortunately, the Cheeseheads are getting in, and so are it looks like so are the Vikings.
Oh, are the Cheeseheads getting in?
Oh yeah, they won the division.
Oh, okay.
They clinched it. Yeah.
They clinched the division.
Shows you how much I follow. Shows you how much I follow it. All I know about the Cheeseheads is I have a couple of friends that moved up there. I used to go to Whitewater Lake to go fishing with my ma, and they're too stupid to build a dome stadium in Minnesota.
You mean in
Green Bay?
In Green Bay.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think the new Minnesota stadium is not a dome anymore now.
I remember that video when that dome collapsed when that snowstorm hit.
Oh, is that what it
Minneapolis.
was? I don't remember.
Yeah, they had to rebuild it.
Maybe that's the way. I thought that was the Cheeseheads that did that. Okay.
I just remember that fucking horn for the Minnesota Vikings.
Ricola.
Yeah, seriously. What did Dickie used to call it? The Thunderdome or something like the Roller Dome or some crap like that. Yeah.
Did you say Dicka or Dickhead?
That too.
Oh, okay.
Either way. But,
when in the late '80s, early '90s, before he was let go as head coach of the Bears, he was getting kind of ornery.
He still got ornery.
Yeah.
When they won the Super Bowl, the guy didn't crack a smile. He did not crack a smile.
Well, it's okay. We didn't crack a smile after a while either because he never won any more Super Bowls.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, that was it.
That's it.
We still relive in 1985 here in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Bowling for Soup Song.
And the 90s Bulls and a couple of years for the Blackhawks.
Oh, don't even get me started about the Bulls. We're going to stop
local sports team.
No.
Bullshit.
Don't even
bullshit and the cold steel on ice, it's more like warm steel on slush.
We shouldn't give the Blackhawks that much crap. It's not like they haven't won 3 championships in this part of the, in this side of the 2000s. I mean, it's amazing how quickly we're crapping on this. It's like, didn't they win 3 championships recently?
And then when the Sox had Ozzy and they won. Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm still...
Where do they play now? Is there a new Chicago stadium, or...
Where? Who?
The Bulls and the Blackhawks.
Oh, they still play at the United Center. They've been playing at the United Center since, God knows, like the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, when I was there, they played at Chicago Stadium.
Right. No, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, when
that's when I last followed them.
Yeah, they built the United Center, and I think the old Chicago Stadium became the parking area for it.
Yeah. I mean, they literally built the Chicago. They were literally building the United Center right next to old Chicago.
Yeah,
Stadium.
there are photographs of the two stadiums together for a short while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me, I haven't lived in Chicago in 30 years.
No, that's fine.
So.
You're excused. You're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, no matter what they say, it's still the frickin' Hancock Center and the Sears Tower.
That's right.
Yours.
Yes.
Yeah, well, anyway, what else is going on, Scott? Anything else of note other than...
Getting ready for the holidays?
Other than us talking about football, people probably going, this show never talks about sports.
Well, you got the person who knows nothing about movies on this week, remember?
Yeah. Well, the irony is we usually don't talk about sports because it's like, we could go on forever about sports, but...
well, you can.
I can.
Yeah.
I'm really not a big fan of the holidays. It's just, we, like the meme says, we celebrate Thanksgiving to say what we're thankful for and be thankful for it, and then go out and kill each other the next day on sales.
Yeah, this year we didn't have any real fights on video that got viral this year. That's just good. I'm good.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's because it was all
1 year in a row.
Chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, we're all fighting over chicken sandwiches instead.
We're all fighting over. By the way, I had another one of those. Those were really good.
Oh, okay. Back for more. Oh, Jeff's been hooked, I think. Jeff's an addict.
No, those are pretty good, and the price is pretty good. $4.
I had half of leftover of my son's, and you're right, the piece of meat is huge, and that's good, but it's a chicken sandwich.
This time I got more sauce. This time I got more sauce. It was better.
Gentlemen, okay. I have something I got to take care of. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay.
He's got something to take care of.
Uh-huh.
I do.
Yeah, no,
Are we going to hear a toilet flush at the end?
No,
Ivan's not on this week.
We only have that happen when Ivan's on.
But no, what I was saying is, I'm not a real big fan of the holidays because once you get, even now starting before Thanksgiving, a lot more people become super idiotic and just rude and get out of my way, and no. I don't celebrate Christmas anyway, so but I'm easygoing about it, whatever. But no, people just get too idiotic this time of year. And and that really just it takes me out of the mood, truthfully. I used to love to go around, see the lights and things, and now it's just like, bah humbug.
I'm not really all that bah humbug on it. I'm okay with it. Like I said, when it's time, I'm good with it. Give me some turkey, give me some stuffing. Let me have my Thanksgiving day. After that, okay, fine. Once that's happened, great.
Yeah,
but maybe part of it is I'm not the first person to go run for Black Friday either, and to jam up a mall and worry about all that. I went to go to a buddy's house this weekend, and to get there, I got to pass Woodfield.
Oh, jeez.
Which is Woodfield Mall, which used to be the biggest mall in I don't remember if it was the biggest mall in the country or the biggest mall in North America. And the backup to get off the highway is brutal. I wasn't even going anywhere near it. Just to get past it was brutal. It's like, ugh.
Well, isn't there another big mall over in Skokie?
There is.
Right.
I've tried to avoid that. You know what? It's funny. I've been around near that area, and that's not nearly been as bad as trying to get to Woodfield. But then again, I'm local, so I'm using local streets. It's not like I have to get on the highway to go there.
Right.
So that maybe highway is bad, but I didn't see an issue when I've had to drive up further north. I haven't seen an issue where it's okay, I'm getting stuck in traffic by where that turnoff is. So I don't know.
Well, here in the city, shopping is everywhere.
Yeah.
And a good example with the way the traffic is, my brother-in-law is going away on Friday until the New Year's. He has a dog, and we're not allowed to have dogs, but we watch his dog while they're gone. We had to drive to Brooklyn today to get the dog. We left at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stopped at Starbucks, got the dog, and came home. And, actually Barnes & Noble. So that was maybe an extra 20 minutes. So it should have taken us no more than 2 hours, 5 minutes to get that trip done. With the traffic today, it took us 3.5 hours.
Wow.
New York traffic is screwy.
Oh, it sucks.
I thought, I sit there and I complain about, the only reason I don't complain about Chicago traffic is I'll never forget the one time. All I had to do as I was driving through New York City during rush hour, all I had to do was go over the George Washington Bridge.
That's not me.
No.
I did not realize just how much of a problem that was going to be.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact there's 4 lanes of highway on each side of that bridge.
And 2 decks.
Each deck has 4 lanes on each side. And
each way?
I don't know how they created 8, but they created 8. And I've never seen anything like it. It was scary. I'm like, I don't want to live in this city. I don't even want to be anywhere near it. I thought Boston was bad. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Most New York traffic, something like that, it would be equated to you trying to take the Kennedy from Belmont to Elk Grove during evening rush hour.
No, I would do that before I did that again.
I did that. I did that for 2.5 freaking years.
I would do that before I got on the George Washington Bridge. That was supposed to be 15 minutes. It took us 2 hours to get across the bridge.
Be thankful you didn't get stuck in traffic in one of the tunnels.
Or run out of gas.
That too.
No, I don't think we went through a tunnel. Like I said, we were passing through New York. It wasn't like we were.
No, you weren't. You wouldn't have gone through a tunnel unless you were going directly to New York City. And where you probably went is across from New Jersey and up 87 to go through New York.
Actually, I think we were going south, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, something along those lines.
No, you get stuck in one of the tunnels. There's hardly any ventilation in there. You can't freaking breathe from all the exhaust.
Yeah, The only other thing I found amusing was traffic in the San Francisco megapolis area, like the San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland area when it's time. Is brutal too. It's like this is like a standstill. Even like the carpool lane is a standstill.
Never been there. The one I used to laugh at in Chicago, I don't know if they still do it, but Lakeshore Drive used to have reversible lanes up in the section like around Diversity from about the loop to
the express lanes.
Well, yeah, there's two lanes going. There's lanes going both ways.
Lakeshore Drive doesn't do that anymore, but they still do it on the Kennedy.
90, yeah, on the Kennedy.
Okay,
they still do it on the Kennedy.
What Lakeshore Drive used to have a curb that used to come up out of the road to make the new lane designations. And every once in a while, somebody be driving right between lanes when that sucker comes up and all four wheels come up off the road. Have to call a tow truck to get it off the divider. I used to laugh my ass off at that one. You don't get that in New York.
No, you don't. But yeah.
But just catch up, Mike. Yeah, it started off with I'm not really a fan of the holidays because the way people act, so on and so forth, and got into extra traffic and. Okay, you're up to date.
Yeah, okay. Traffic sucks and
people's attitudes suck,
Yeah, just like you get people. It's
and
funny. People will get in their cars and they'll play their favorite Christmas music, but the minute they get behind the wheel, everyone else is the enemy, and they will not hesitate to honk their horn and yell at you if you're in their way, if you're inconvenienced for like 10 seconds.
Or not let you in when you have to get off an exit, or cut you off, or run you tailgate you because you're not going fast enough. I mean, just the general
people's anxiety levels are higher during the holidays.
Yes,
people aren't thinking.
Well, in a couple weeks, it's going to be like I figure by Friday, traffic in Chicago will be like non-existent sections because
a lot of people be off work.
People be gone.
Yeah.
People be gone.
It's like my sister works in the city and she thinks she can work from home on Thursday and Friday. So.
Right. Well, and then there's people who went out of town.
Yeah. People and kids are getting out of school on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be gone for 2 weeks.
There are a lot of places those last 2 weeks they're like, okay, we're closing for the 2 weeks and we're not even reopening. We'll see you in January.
Right.
So
I wish I had that job.
No, I've had places where corporate places where it's like,
there's no activity this week.
There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Like, technically with my job, nobody's really buying promotional products the last 2 weeks.
And no one's
forget it.
No one's closing any deals. They're waiting until the new year, the new fiscal year. So.
Well, doesn't the new fiscal year start something like April or something like that?
It depends on company.
Or for business.
Yeah, it depends. Like I said, it depends on some of that. But yeah, so Mike, anything of interest or anything for you this past week?
No, I haven't watched anything really, just except episode 6 of The Mandalorian, and no, nothing really to report.
Did you watch the rest of Crisis, by the way?
Yeah, I watched 2 and 3. Yes.
Okay.
We'll get into that in just a little bit.
Get to that.
We don't want to isolate. We don't want to alienate Scott yet.
Yet. Well, that's going to kind of happen here in about 2 seconds.
Okay.
Because I finally saw The Irishman.
Okay.
I want 3.5 hours of my life back, please.
See, I'm getting conflicting reports. Some people saying it's like movie of the year. They love it. Of course, the same people that like Goodfellas.
It is Goodfellas. Yeah. I'm telling you right now. I swear to God, when I'm watching it, I'm literally like, other than the fact that there's different names and different people, but the feel is exactly like I'm watching Goodfellas.
Yeah, it's a gangster movie. Okay. If you like that genre, then you're in luck.
Literally, it's like, hey, can we take sections from Goodfellas and put it in this movie? Because that's what it feels like. I mean, and the funny part is because you got Pacino and you got Pesci, they were both in Goodfellas, and they're working together. And I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, okay, so what Ray Liotta wasn't available or something? Look, the acting is phenomenal. I will give them that. All of the people who are in that thing are really, really good. Pacino's phenomenal.
Is De Niro just De Niro?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's De Niro doing a mobster thing, and in fairness, he's not too De Niro-y, but like I said, all three of them are really good together. They do really, really well. Ray Romano was actually pretty good in this thing. There were a couple other people who were, like I said, the entire cast. It's a well-acted movie. My headache with the movie is, okay, it's slow. It's slow.
The story should have been compressed.
There are sections where I'm just like, at one point I fell asleep for 15 minutes. I had to rewind. We had to rewind it.
You had to rewind it and go back and see what you missed.
It wasn't just me. The other person fell asleep too. We're like, wait, I think we missed some things. Yeah, okay, we slept a good 10 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't tried to tackle that yet.
So yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, it's 3.5 hours, of which really there's a part of me where I'm like, you easily could have made this movie in 2 hours. You easily could have made this movie.
But Marty needed to make his film the way he wanted.
Well, that's fine. And the irony is, if Marty wanted to make the film the way he wanted, all the people who were talking about, why don't you make it a miniseries, and he's all pissed off about, guess what? You should have made a miniseries. You really should have, because the way he wanted to make it, there were times where the person I was watching it with was confused about certain things with time jumps about who certain people were, because they weren't clear who people were. Like,
were there captions over 5 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever?
None of that. No. And they're jumping around in times too.
And was the CG good? Like the de-aging or whatever?
Yeah. The de-aging stuff was really, really good. We'll get to that in a second because there's some amusing commentary on that. Because, by the way, there's on top of the 3.5-hour movie, there's a half-hour commentary where the four of them are sitting around talking. And I'm like, I am not going to sit here for another half hour. We sped through the first 15 minutes, and afterward, and we caught the last 15. It was livable, but I'm like, after we were done, it was like, oh no, I am not sitting another half an hour and listening to this bullshit.
What did you like the most aside from just the performances?
I like the performances.
Yeah,
I like the performances. The rest of it, I absolutely thought the ending was bullshit.
Oh. That can ruin a movie. That can save a movie or ruin it, the ending.
I thought the ending was absolutely bullshit, and there were some things... There's some things that I just don't... Now, I understand that they took it from...
Scott, I think you're blown into your microphone.
Oh, sorry. Oreos.
I think there was... I think it's based on a true story. I don't know how much is true or not, and if in the end they were trying to keep to the trueness of that. It's just... I just didn't buy it. There's something about near the end of the movie where I just didn't buy. I just didn't buy it. No.
You didn't think the story was engaging enough, or was it just too drawn out?
Well, yeah. I mean, the last, I don't know, 15, 30 minutes is like, why do we even need this part? Why do we even need this part?
Okay.
I don't even know what we're getting out of this. And then with the last scene, I'm like, they're really not going to end here, are they? Yep. That's exactly where they're going to end. I'm like, okay.
So out of 5, mans, what do you give it? Okay, well, 3s.
In fairness,
fair.
Can I do it this way? For the acting gig, I give it 5 out of 5. For the rest of it, It's the rest of it that drags it down. The rest of it drags it down. It's too long. It's too long for one sitting, and I'll let you phrase that. I'm willing to sit 3.5 hours to watch a movie if I'm not sitting there half the time going, why are you telling me this? Or what does this need to be here? I mean, even Avengers, just to be clear, Avengers Endgame, 3 hours. You and I agree. You could have cut that movie. You could have cut that movie to shorter. There were definitely places where that movie could have been shorter. I'm not against a 3-hour movie.
Well,
I'm against a 3-hour
Avengers
movie
Endgame
where...
had pacing problems,
Right.
but I wouldn't say it needed to be shorter. I'd say maybe just restructure it slightly.
Well, but that's the same problem that the Irishman have, is pacing problems and things where it's like, why are you, oh God. Yeah, I'd say 3 out of 5 yeah-mans.
Oh, all right, that's fair.
And,
okay.
and here's the most funny thing. Here's the part you're going to laugh at the hardest. Oh, wait. No, I apologize. You mentioned about the CG. So here's the part I was laughing about the hardest about. You mentioned about the CG. So Scorsese is going on and on about how amazing the CG was and what can be done and how it can make a movie like his so much better. And I swear to you, I was just trying not to laugh because it's like, do you realize without movies like the Marvel movies and the Star Wars movies, you wouldn't have your CG that you needed for this movie?
Well, I don't think he was ripping on Star Wars.
He wasn't, but I mean, without some of the things that have been done for some of the superhero movies, you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have had some of those effects.
Yeah,
either.
It's like how Kurt Russell was de-aged in Guardians 2, and
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just found it ironic because it's like, and that's the other interesting thing that's going to be, considering how much they were able to de-age some of these people. I'm waiting to see if this is now going to be a new trend where there's some people who are older actors who are suddenly going to be 20, 30 years younger in movies. If you understand what
at least
I mean.
in 5-minute flashbacks.
Not even in 5-minute flashbacks. Maybe whole movies.
Maybe. Well, I think they had that whole issue. Like, remember when the controversy over Paula Abdul dancing with Gene Kelly in a Diet Coke commercial? Everyone's all like, oh, these dead celebrities, all their likenesses are going to be used for commercials and it's going to put the actors out of business because whatever. But
I mean, here's the thing. Like, for example, could you get another dirty, based on the CGI of what could be done, could you grab Clint Eastwood and do one more Dirty Harry movie?
Well, I think they'd need to change his voice because obviously his voice is too old now.
Just like, okay, you're working on a new Indiana Jones movie. You think you could de-age Harrison Ford 30 years?
Yeah, instead of having a new Harrison Ford, just have Harrison Ford and a younger CGI version and do like they did with Tarkin and Leia in Rogue One.
Yeah, I could do that. Or even, like, for example, okay, you want to, fine, don't de-age Harrison Ford 30 years, de-age him 10 or 15 so that you could have Harrison Ford in the 60s. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking there's some interesting application possibilities.
I'm sorry, what was that, Scott?
Make the character's son. Like
right,
they do half the time.
Well, that's coming. I think they're going to find a way to...
A good way, not just Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Aliens.
So, by the way, that was my... After watching 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 45 minutes of Martin Scorsese and then him talking about his great movie, we needed a palate cleanser, so we watched this Six Underground movie with Ryan Reynolds that's done by Michael Bay.
That sounds like that will cleanse the palate.
It was not nearly Michael Bay enough.
Lens flares and hot chicks and explosions?
Well, they had that, but not nearly as much as, like... I mean, they had that, but, like, he toned down the hot chick thing a lot. really tone. Usually there's the one gratuitous shot where there's
there's
the
money, the
right,
candy shot or whatever when you call it,
or
cheesecake shot.
He had some of those, but not nearly like a couple of the scenes in like the Transformer movie where it's like, here's the girl. Oh my, okay,
Yeah, Megan Fox, leaning over a motorcycle or whatever.
Right. That scene doesn't happen in that movie. Or at least not that I remember recalling seeing. So, actually not bad for what it was.
Okay.
Not bad. I'm not going to call it a great movie. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 Yamas. And potential for sequels and stuff. And we'll see. Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds.
All right.
But, that was... So, I caught it. Like I said, I'm like, okay, I saw The Irishman. I'm like, did I really want to see that?
Okay, great. Now I don't have to. Because the last couple weekends I've been struggling with my family and be all like, do we want to start it? Do you want to try? And I'm like, no.
I could really get why certain people made those things where it's like, here's how you break it up into three parts. When we were laughing about that, it's like, oh, I get it now. Holy cow. 3.5 hours dealing with that shit. Wow. No.
No. So, okay. Well, then.
So. I did read a headline today, by the way, Mike, both of you, that the series Picard has picked up a second season and hasn't even premiered yet.
Hasn't? Oh, it's been greenlit? Season 2 has been greenlit? Oh, good enough.
That just came up today.
Yay. Well, I hope it's good.
I can't watch it because it's on CBS
All Access, yeah.
And I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might. I want to see it. I'm already paying. I've already, the Disney Plus, the year of Disney Plus has already dropped. So that's done and paid for. But it depends on how they come out. But I am highly curious. So I'm hoping it's good. I don't want to wait because I'm almost. This is one thing I did. I got 4 more episodes in of season 2 of Titans, and it's getting good. Actually, we finally, I think episode 5 or 6, we finally see Superboy and Crypto.
Well,
so I'm liking it.
I heard that I'm a little surprised about Crypto, but I wasn't surprised to hear. That because I know that supposedly they were showing up later in the season just from what people have.
Yeah, like the season 1 finale, they teased it, and then they finally bring him in episode 6 of season 2. But I like how they did it, and I'm only got 2 more episodes to go, and then I'm done with season 2 of Titans, and I like it. It was good.
Yeah, like I said, at some point I will sit down and I'll look at it.
Maybe it might be good for you to skip season 1.
That's what I'm. A lot of people, I get that impression. If somebody could give me a primer of here's what episodes you need to watch.
Yeah, just go to Wikipedia or whatever. Just read the synopsis for season 1, and then you're good, and just jump right into season 2.
I might want to see the last episode of season 1 just because of the fact that they do the Trigon stuff. But I don't know.
Okay.
That was the other thing too. Apparently, Bob Iger, who's the head of Disney, is now going to set up a meeting with Scorsese, and I'm like, gee,
we'll have an audience with the
about.
great Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, really, seriously. I guess that's what this was all about in the end. So,
what is this freaking UN summit? Just go have a sandwich or something. Jeez.
Well, no, it's probably more along the lines of this was probably what it was all about, which is, hey, fund my movies. Fund my movies. I want to work with Disney. Give me money.
Now I want to watch The Irishman even less.
and here's the funny part. It's not really Scorsese. Well, it's sort of Scorsese's movie. The part I kind of laugh about is it's Tribeca Films, so that's De Niro. So I'm like, you were getting paid from De Niro. What's the big problem? What, distribution? Is that your problem?
They have Netflix. You don't have to worry about distribution.
Yeah, seriously. In the meantime,
his name should get him But the fact that they went this route, you didn't have it done by a major studio, and they didn't get a mass theatrical release because maybe it might not have made the box office numbers that they were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And now where it's on Netflix, where Netflix does not release its streaming numbers, we don't get any of those stats.
Well, they've given us some about total number of people who've read it, but they can't be trusted. Just like I would never trust the Disney ones.
No,
I wouldn't trust the Disney ones. I love how many people are willing to trust the Disney numbers. It's like, are they getting an independent firm to account for these numbers? No.
Matt Evs.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm meh.
So we, as of now, we are like a week away from Christmas, and we got, and you're less than a week away from Hanukkah. So holidays are coming, and plans are being made, and year-end things are happening. And I remember I watched one show over the weekend where they were doing like an in memoriam already of all the celebrities that have passed this year. It's not like
you're dead.
Yeah.
You just had a major one this week, didn't you? It seems like the end of the year is when all the celebrities drop dead.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, Danny Aiello. That's right. Danny Aiello has passed away.
Yeah.
How are we going to get the Hudson Hawk sequel? Not that we were ever going to get one.
I don't think one was coming.
Yeah, I don't think one was coming either.
Or the Do the Right Thing sequel.
Yeah, I don't think either one of those was coming anytime soon.
Yeah, so end of year stuff. Yeah, we had quite a few. I remember not just this last week we talked about that this week. It was almost turned into obituaries of the squares last week with Star Trek people, and Ivan was going on about Lil Bub and Big Bird, and oh my god. Yeah.
It was Bring Out Your Dead.
Yeah,
Bring Out Your Dead. That's right.
I'm not dead. I feel fine.
I feel fine. Bring out the dead.
Little Bub ate Big Bird.
Yeah. Oh. No.
I don't know. I got Big Bird in that one. I got Big Bird. I'll take Big Bird over Little Bub.
Come on, you guys. Don't be a grouch.
I'm not. Let's see. What other things can we...
That's my job.
So the Star... Mike, did you see the Stargirl trailer?
Yes, I did. I'm interested. It's fine.
Me too. I don't know if either one of you saw the Top Gun trailer, the new Top Gun trailer.
No, I did not see the new trailer for Top Gun. I was started to watch it at work on break, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna eat my lunch. I'm like, I don't need this right now. I watched the other one. It's like, the first shot you see is the F-14 flying over the sky. It's like, the F-14, okay, so now we know there's probably going to be a flashback, and we might see, like, a de-aged Tom Cruise. Like, I'm predicting we're going to see that. Like a flashback of Tom Cruise looking like he's in the 80s Top Gun.
I don't know. But the kid that they got to play Goose's kid looks a lot like Anthony Edwards.
Gilbert.
I mean, they don't even talk about that's not even like really mentioned in the previews in the trailer at all, but it's like, it's really obvious. I'm like looking at him and going, yeah, that's gotta be Goose's kid.
I wonder if they're gonna get Meg Ryan back after all that bad plastic surgery she's had.
I don't think they did. I think they went with somebody else.
As Goose's wife? Goose's widow?
I think so.
Oh my god.
Hold on, let me pull up the IMDb. Maybe they
I saw Tom Cruise on
Oprah's couch?
Yeah, right. Under Oprah. Anyway. On the Graham Norton show last week, and he actually looks like they could possibly with makeup de-age him.
They wouldn't need CG. He does look pretty good, I mean, age-wise.
And his workout regimens are insane. I could see...
lifting all those Scientology books.
Yeah, well, that's probably part of it, too. Yeah, I think... Hold on, let me see if she's in here. I don't... I don't see her in here at all.
No. Maybe they're running her out because for some reason.
Yeah, or they recast her. Because I'm looking just to see who's in this thing.
Either she's not in it or they recast her. I mean, I don't see why.
I think they recast her because I'm like looking at who's in this movie, and I bet it's Gina Louise Kelly playing that role now. Because she looks very, how do I say?
Like she's age appropriate.
Yeah, well, it's the haircut that I'm looking at here looks very McBride.
Well, the haircut of her file photo on IMDb is not going to be the one that she might not look at.
She looks very McBride in this picture.
Okay.
Like,
well, we'll see.
I'm surprised Val Kilmer's going to be in this thing.
Good on him. Didn't he beat cancer or something?
Yeah, he's got something where
good on him. He
hasn't been around for a reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no,
he was great in Top Secret, man. That's one of my. That's a great.
Top Secret. Top Secret's one of those
highly underrated comedy of the 80s.
See, there's a question. Why haven't they ever looked at stuff like that? They're like, hey, we could redo
something like the Zucker Brothers or Leslie Nielsen's Top Gun, or I mean Naked Gun, not Top Gun.
How could you do Naked Gun now? Oh my god.
They did Hot Shots with
yeah, but even that's not the 90s. Could you imagine
Charlie
trying
Sheen.
To do something like that now?
Yeah. Was it Selma Hayek was in Hot Shots with Charlie Sheen?
Was it really? I think it might have been. Nah, really? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. They did a second one, Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah. Part 2.
You could have Naked Top Gun.
Yeah,
it'd have a different rating.
Top Gun.
I'm sure there have been some unofficial parodies on
Top Gun.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been plenty of Naked Top Gun movies. Yeah. It's probably starring
Yeah.
You would know, Jeff. You would know.
No, not really. That's, I've never really found the need to. No, that's not Selma Hayek. That's Valerina Golino.
Okay.
That is not, that's not her. That's not her.
Selma Hayek she was in Dogma. She's done some comedic roles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I had a feeling that wasn't her. I'm like, no, I don't think that.
No, she had that kind of vibe about her.
Yeah, she had that kind of,
that hot chick, with the Latina kind of, ooh, yeah. Anyway.
By the way, do you get El Rey at all, Mike?
Do I get El Rey?
The El Rey network?
No.
Because apparently they're running a whole Christmas Eve. They're running a whole Firefly marathon, complete with Serenity at the end.
I never watched Firefly.
Neither really did I. I mean, I've seen a couple episodes and I get it because I've seen who's casted, and I'm like,
Alan
wow,
Tudyk
that show should have done better.
I'm a leaf on the wind. That's all I know.
I've seen a couple episodes where I'm looking at the cast, going, this show should have done better. There's a lot of really great.
I've seen it looked like Kevin Sorbo's Andromeda series to me. It just didn't look good enough for me.
I don't
know. I know that has a loyal fan base, and that fan base is all right, but no, it just looked kind of just not like like Warner Brothers television, very bad. Almost like the Kevin Sorbo Hercules of sci-fi. That's what it looked like to me. So I never got into it.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I know, TNT, though, I think was running some of the Lord of the Rings movies over the weekend. And they were running Star Wars, too. Saturday, I think it was Saturday night or Sunday night. I was watching episode 4. Just in preparation.
Scott, were you into the Star Wars stuff at all? When you were in the 70s or the 80s?
In the heyday?
I saw the original Star Wars, and that was about it. I don't know. It never really.
You didn't click?
It didn't really click. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's bad. It just didn't really click with me. I was more Star Trek and thing, like that. And I don't know, something about it just didn't really click for me.
Yeah.
It's funny to me because I feel like and I could be really wrong about this, but I feel like if you weren't really a Gen Xer, if you were older than Gen X, it's like, Star Trek. If you were like a Gen Xer, it's like, what are you, crazy? Star Wars.
I don't know. It was a pretty big debate back at the time, too. I mean, that's a debate that's been going ever since Star Wars came out.
I grew up in an atmosphere that wasn't polarized to either one. It was okay to like both.
Yeah, same
when I
here.
found out that there are people who, on one side, they were waving that flag, and everyone, the other side was the enemy. It's like, I never thought that way.
It's a freaking movie. Get over it.
That's when you show up with your black hole flag and go, hey!
Go with your Battlestar Galactica uniform.
Yeah, no, I was thinking your black hole flag, because that's even better.
Oh, well,
that's even more
super obscure, yeah.
Well, I'm a boomer, so, Star Trek. Plus, I met Gene Roddenberry, so that sort of sways me a little bit, too. That's
awesome, man.
But, no, I mean, Star Wars isn't bad, but, come on, it's gonna be like it did in Futurama, Star Wars 153.5, whatever the title is they used.
Right.
They did do so many and then drop it.
Well, I think this is why they want to end this story and start anew.
Yeah.
They've seen that they can do that.
They're just going to use it as a storytelling aspect. They're not going to use it as a, how do I say, okay, it's no different than a Western genre. You're going to have your Star Wars genre. Basically, you're going to play in that and dabble in that universe and that kind of thing, and how things will or won't be connected is questionable, and I don't have a problem with that.
It's like, as much as I loved cartoons, I couldn't get into the show Droids when it was out.
Neither could I.
It was just, the thing is that I didn't know when it took place. I think it took place between episode, whatever, before the first Star Wars, for layman's terms. But that's the thing, though, too, is with all these shows that I have to explain to people. I still have family members who don't know jack shit about Star Wars, but they watch it because of the Baby Yoda meme. They watch The Mandalorian. And now we have to cherry pick which parts of what series, like Rogue One takes place just before episode 4. Okay, The Mandalorian takes place after episode 6. Okay, and then the Kenobi series are going to take place between episodes 3 and 4 as well. It's like, anytime a new Star Wars pops up, we got to be reminded of when it takes place in the saga.
Well, right, but that'll be interesting because the answer to some of this is going to be it doesn't matter. But the problem is there's always going to be someone go, where does this fit in? The answer is it shouldn't matter.
Well, it should, because whether it's the First Order or the New Republic or the Empire,
I guess
the backdrop of who's the baddie, who's the authorita of the land. But oh well.
Yeah,
the trouble
I guess.
is, if I went in, right, and I started trying to pick up these movies, right, and you're sitting next to me, I'd want to sit there and say, okay, what's this reference mean? What's that reference mean? And it takes people out of the movie.
Yeah.
That have been into it for a while.
It's funny you say that, because there are people who...
Yeah, there are plenty of in-jokes for the superfans. And Easter eggs.
It's not even that. I've got friends who I kind of laugh because it's like I'll go see the movie by myself before I see it with friends.
What?
Just so I don't have to deal with that sometimes.
Listen here, son. I went to go see the premiere of Star Trek V. All right, and I had to drive home all the way home with my friends, apologizing to them.
Well, that's your fault. Why would you go see that?
Because it was the premiere of Star Trek V, and it's like, there was a golden age. We had Next Gen was on TV, Star Trek 4 was highly popular. This is going to be, the new adventures. And then we had Star Trek V, and we didn't know it was going to be that bad.
You know,
we still hang our heads in shame.
I don't.
And now with the movies that you guys are into, now that freaking Disney has bought half of everything, I could see them really screwing up these series that you guys are into. That's what Disney does.
But I could also see them doing extremely well. I mean, Rogue One was an excellent film.
Yeah.
With the right people, and Avengers Infinity War was amazing.
Yeah, well, I haven't really had a lot of problems with their Marvel stuff.
No.
Aren't they trying to kill off a couple of series, though?
Well, they've not been successful on the TV front in that regard.
Yeah, that's the other big news, is that they officially announced this past week that Marvel TV is no more, which means that Jeff Loeb is pretty much out of a job, and I'm curious to see where he lands, because he's somebody who knows what to do with all that. And the smartest thing for Marvel would be to keep him, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen, and that's too bad. So, we'll see.
Maybe that's what I was reading, or not reading, but the headline that I saw that made me think of them killing different storylines off and different, for lack of a better word, venues.
The live action TV shows. Well, some of that's been politics too. There's been some internal politics within Marvel where at one point that made everything problematic. Where, the people who were running the TV were technically under the arm of one person, and Kevin Feige was had his own autonomy on his own.
Yeah, and they were doing their own thing, and they weren't linked to each other directly.
Right, so they weren't directly as linked as they could have been. Yeah. And I kind of laugh because there's a lot of people who watch the Marvel stuff and say, well, all of it's linked, versus the DC shows where they're not linked together, and that's silly and stupid. Well, here's the irony to all of that, is it actually was much more helpful to Warner. This is one of the few things Warner did well, was to be smart enough not to link this stuff together, because then they didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Right, the continuity, right.
Right,
So who's this Kevin Feige?
Kevin Feige.
JK.
He's the grand poobah of Marvel at Disney.
He's the grand poobah of Marvel films.
Right.
Okay.
And it looks like he's going to be doing a Star Wars film at some point too.
Maybe, probably.
So, but
Luke, I am not your father. I'm your mother. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm your dog. Woof.
Dark Helmet.
Yeah.
Father's brother's cousin's former roommate.
What does that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
Good.
I saw Spaceballs in the theater back in the day.
That's one I never saw. I used to like comedies too, and I never saw that. I should pull it up on Hulu.
At one point, I had heard a rumor that Mel Brooks was going to make a Spaceballs the musical. A legit rumor.
I have heard of that.
Yeah, they tried to do like a web series or an animated series, but it never got off the ground.
No, but I mean, because they did
like an actual
Frankenstein, and they did Producers, and I had heard a rumbling that they were going to try to do Spaceballs, and I'm like, oh my god, that
Sign
would be
me
amazing.
up.
Sign me up. That's hysterical.
Yep.
I've heard of. I actually back in the day did hear that, and I thought they were going to maybe do something over on Broadway.
Yeah.
I could see that being as good as the Book of Mormon, for example, as far as comedic.
Yeah. Well, it's a little different, but yeah.
It's a little different, but
Mike, did I ever tell you that time about when I saw the producer musical when it was here before it went to New York?
No, you didn't.
So I went that day with my mom, and we weren't sitting together because we couldn't get seats together. That's how popular it was.
Oh.
So if you've seen the movie The Producers, right?
I've seen bits and pieces. I've never watched the whole thing.
So there's the one part where they do this Springtime for Hitler in Germany.
Yeah, I know that one, and I know the end song, the ending song. I like the ending song.
Right. So at one point in the movie, there's a section where Mel Brooks comes out to do the "Don't be such a smarty, come and join a Nazi party," and there were rumors that Mel Brooks was there because they were still working on getting the production to where they wanted it to be. So I'm like, boy, I wonder if they wouldn't really have Mel Brooks come out and do it. Sure enough, Mel Brooks comes out and actually does the line in the middle of the musical, and there's a bunch of people going nuts.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. That'd be awesome.
Definitely.
So fast forward to where I meet up with my mom, and we're walking back to the car, and I'm like, yeah, and it was amazing that they got Mel Brooks to do the cameo. She goes, what are you talking about? So I told her about where that was. She goes, really? She's like, is that what that was all about? I just thought it was a bunch of people cheering Nazis.
Oh, God.
Wait, it gets better. So the next day she's talking to one of her friends who lives on the North Shore who went to see it, and she tells her that, and she goes, they thought the same thing too. They thought there was a bunch of people cheering Nazis.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
So
well, that's a pessimistic view of the human race.
Wow. I don't know. Again,
if you didn't catch who it was,
right? If you
would
didn't
not
catch
have gotten
who it was, it's a very strange thing to have happened.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been there,
right?
She wouldn't have
and
known
you
who
get
it was.
this kind of surreal, like when you see a celebrity, you get that, like, wait a minute, is this really happening? Is that who that is? It doesn't process right away that the person on the television you've seen all your life. Oh yeah, he's right in front of me.
Well, the other thing is the way that one part is. It's not like he walks on stage in an obvious part. It's a really quick run on stage.
Yeah, it's one line.
Run right off stage and be done.
Yeah.
So it'd be real easy for someone to blink and not realize what just happened.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was, that was the only reason I mentioned it was, it'd be something to have like a Spaceballs. That'd be hysterical. That'd be great. But unfortunately, that's probably never going to happen. So I don't know.
You wouldn't get Rick Moranis, that's for sure.
It's funny. Oh, that was the other thing I watched, Mike. I saw the movies that made us.
Oh, good.
I saw the Ghostbusters one, and I saw the Die Hard one. The Ghostbusters one was a lot better than the Die Hard one.
I don't know. I liked them both, but it was good. It was interesting. Especially how the Ghostbusters, how they had to struggle to get the rights from Filmation all the way up to when they were almost done filming.
Yeah, and then ironically, the guy they have to get it from is the guy who greenlit the project in the first place.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. The other thing that was amazing was I didn't realize they originally wrote that part for John Candy.
Yeah, and for John Belushi. Right,
it was supposed to be John at the beginning. Well, I always knew that part of it was supposed to be a project for Eddie Murphy. I was not aware it was supposed to be John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, and Eddie Murphy. I thought it was supposed to be Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy, and Dan Aykroyd. But
no, because of the success of Aykroyd and Belushi at the time, that's when he wrote it.
And
in the 70s before he died.
Well, and it's funny because that makes a lot more sense because Aykroyd would have done, by that point, Aykroyd would have done Trading Places with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot more sense, which is, hey, I work with Belushi. Hey, I've worked with Eddie Murphy. Yeah, let's see if we can put all. Wow, can you imagine what Ghostbusters have looked like
with John Belushi and Eddie Murphy instead?
Eddie Murphy instead.
Well,
and then you ask the question: who would have been the fourth Ghostbuster? Probably a white guy, right?
Maybe Bill Murray would have been the fourth one. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, because you wouldn't need. Actually, it would have been funny if John Candy would have been the fourth Ghostbuster. That'd have worked.
Yeah. Well, he was originally going to be Louis Tully, played by Moranis.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But he would have worked for the fourth Ghostbuster because he could have played off that Winston role just as good as Ernie Hudson in reverse. Yeah. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But I like him sitting there going, tell him about the Twinkie.
Tell him about the Twinkie. Yeah.
If you look at an IMDb at the actor that plays the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, it's the reason it's my favorite. Ivan did a great job.
Oh, dude. Oh my. Hope he's not listening. Oh, wait, we know he isn't.
He's not. He's man. And,
yeah, man. Ho, ho,
yeah,
ho.
man.
He's a busy man, that Ivan. I don't think he has time to listen to our shows.
The reason I said that was I am curious. I haven't seen. That's the one. They said they got the original cast back together, but that's the one name. That name and Sigourney Weaver were the two names that I haven't seen listed in terms of original cast. Versus, say, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Dan Aykroyd, that kind of thing. But
I'm glad. Yeah, the toys that made, or the movies that made us were good, and growing up in a house where my mother was in love with Dirty Dancing, that was interesting too.
I haven't gotten to that one.
Yeah, that one was good. Yeah, because the two actors, Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze, worked together on that war movie, Red Dawn. So they had some history. They didn't really like each other. So then they were cast together in this movie, and they got it to work because part of it because of the tension between them.
Well, it's funny because Jennifer Grey had a lot of stuff that happened to her. Wasn't she some sort of car accident or something where they had to they ended up where it's like they had to do all kinds of reconstructive surgery because she doesn't look like how she used to.
No, she doesn't look like the same person today. She's had she's had some work done.
Right, but there was something legit. It wasn't like she needed to go get plastic surgery or something. It was something legitimate.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something happened with her, and I can't remember what it is.
And they didn't interview her for this movie or this documentary. They interviewed Swayze's widow for this for the movies that made us, but not Jennifer.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend that one. I haven't watched the Home Alone one yet. I don't care about the Home Alone, so I don't know if I'm going to see that.
It's funny. I haven't seen the Home Alone one. I didn't see the Dirty Dancing one. I'm kind of amused. I'd be kind of amused to see the Home Alone one just to see what the heck happens. In terms of, I think the only other things we've got left are, Crisis. What do you think? I'm curious your reaction as somebody who doesn't watch on a regular basis.
No, and there's a reason why. And it was good. I enjoyed it. And I had people after the fact at game night last Friday. They were like, where was Burt Ward in it? Well, that was at the very beginning, very beginning of part one. He was the one walking the dog.
Yep.
And the sweater had his colors.
Yes.
So anyway, the one thing that I got the feels from was when the Flash from Earth 90 sacrificed himself. Because I watched that show back in the day, man. Mm-hmm. And they flashed back to that one episode where he's with the love interest and he's from the show, and then he was like, oh, good day, save the universe. But that was it. But no, I was, and Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman nailed it. Fucking nailed it. Loved it.
What'd you say, Scott?
No, after Mike did his imitation of the character, I asked if it was played by Stallone.
No, that was me in front of the TV. Oh, Flash is dying. Go, Adrian.
I really enjoyed the revisit to Smallville.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought that was a good spot with Tom Welling.
And Luthor.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And I thought that was it. At first I was bummed because I kind of wanted him to be more active and to see him as part of things. But I'm okay with it. There were a lot of people that weren't. I was not expecting that type of Batman being played by Kevin Conroy. That was not what I expected. I was going to get it all. Yeah,
everyone's all like, he did a fine job.
He did a good job. That's just not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting hearing, I didn't really hear some of that. You know, he didn't throw his voice into it. He didn't sound Batman-y enough for me. But it was still good performance, and I liked it. And I liked that angle with Kate picking up the kryptonite and carrying it around for a little while because Carl wanted to use the Book of Destiny, and she was all like, no, you hold on to that. Wait a minute, you were carrying that? It's like, yeah. It's like, all right, yeah, that's right. You better hold on to it just in case. Or something like that.
I think the thing that bothered me...
Bothered you? You didn't...
The thing that was unfortunate to me was that I wanted another fight in one of these episodes, like we got in the first episode.
Part 1 we had the fight with the demons or whatever, and then
with the shadows.
Yeah, shadow demons. Yeah,
with the shadow demons, and I feel like parts 2 and 3 we needed one more of those kind of fights.
I don't want to see one epic battle with them and the Harbinger chick at the part 3. Identity revealed. The twist.
Yeah, I wasn't going to get there. I'm imagining we're going to get some epic battle scenes in either 4 or 5, and maybe they're trying to save up some budget. But there were certain aspects of this where I was like, I did feel like at times it was like, there's part of this where I feel like this is filler. I feel like this is filler.
You think parts 2 and 3 could have been just 1?
Yeah,
Well, all this running around about trying to bring back Oliver was kind of like Well,
it's interesting because
he has to come back because of the Spectre thing. Yeah,
right. And it's funny. At first, my reaction was very much like, "Why are we spending time on this?" And it's like, "Oh, we're gonna make Oliver Queen the Spectre."
Yeah,
we're gonna make Oliver Queen the Spectre. Okay. That's how we're going to get around. Yeah, Oliver Queen's going to die. And then Stephen Amell can show up whenever he wants because that's what the Spectre pretty much does in the comics. So that'll work just fine. The Lucifer cameo was interesting. I did not see that coming. I didn't even realize that's who it was.
Well, as soon as they said Earth 666, I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, I had forgotten that he was even going to be in it. But
yeah, he's DC.
Right. Well, and it's funny because I saw something from him where it's like, I guess the time frames are before the Lucifer show, and like he said, or something like that, or he was talking about, is this the last time we're going to see Lucifer in like the Arrowverse stuff? And he's like, I don't know, maybe not. It would be interesting to see. It certainly would be interesting to see him show up, especially because they did cancel Lucifer after season 5, so that's possible. I don't know. I thought Barry kind of disappeared at times. I thought if Supergirl's the paragon of hope, she didn't seem very hopeful a lot of these episodes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I like I said, I'm nitpicking at certain aspects. It's just,
and like I said, we're only 60% done with this miniseries, so.
Right. I just would have liked one more good action sequence.
I agree. I was hoping for a badass fight at the end of 3 with them.
Yeah, I feel like that was needed, and it didn't really happen.
Yeah.
By the way,
I'm hyped. I can't wait for January now.
So, 2 other things. One, I did watch the Black Lightning episode.
I did not.
Sort of works. Well, and the funny part is they don't tell you anything, but it sort of fits to what happens, and it was cool to see Black Lightning, although I did feel like he kind of felt shoehorned in at times, and that's too bad. Because the guy who plays Black Lightning, I can't remember his name, but he's really good, and I'm thrilled that they're going to have him involved with it, and maybe they'll get more people to watch that show.
I like that, how he's coming up to speed, like in episode 3 with all the other heroes.
Well, and it's funny because you haven't watched Black Lightning. There's a sequence where they're making jokes about Superman because Superman ain't real on their Earth.
And now he's in front of 2 of them.
Right, and then he sees 2 of them. He's like, wait, Superman real? That's why it was funny. If you watch the show, they made jokes about those guys aren't real because we don't have people like that. Supergirl's not going to Thunder, who's his daughter, made a joke about it. It's not like Supergirl's going to show up here anytime soon and like save us all. And it's like,
oh really?
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
But and then the twist at the end about Luthor, which I'm kind of bummed. I want more Brandon Routh Superman.
I do too.
It's like I get it, but I'm like, could you have done somebody else? I mean, I get you couldn't get rid of Ryan Choi because you're going to replace him. Routh is leaving, and he's going to end up being Ryan Choi's the new Adam. I get it, but it's like, man, did we really have to lose?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he'll be back when they fix everything. So I liked it. Yeah,
like
dug
I
it.
Said,
Couldn't
I
wait.
did not watch. I still have the after shows with Kevin Smith.
No, I haven't watched those yet. I don't have those on the DVR. I didn't record those.
I did. I'm just not. I mean, like the little peek-ins that they would do in the middle of the show, I was like, oh god, I don't want to see this. I don't care.
No, I'm good. I don't need the full debrief.
I'm good enough to watch on my own. I don't need to. Yeah.
Well, maybe just for the layman's, the people who were just, might not get the little Easter eggs and stuff. So
I think. So my only other question is to you. I know. Unfortunately, Scott's not going. But so, are you ready? You ready for episode 9, Mike?
Yes, I am.
Any hopes, dreams, thoughts? Oh my God! Please don't let this happen.
I think it's just I want to go in as clean as and unspoiled as possible. Which where I posted it to my page, I saw you posted it to the Squares the Round Table page. Please don't post the freaking spoilers to episode 9 on the internet. Of course, there will be some people who will, but hopefully that won't happen. But I'm hoping just have a good time and hope I get the same amount of feels that I did for episode 7.
I'm going to start posting when the movie comes out. It's amazing when Baby Yoda shows up and takes out the Emperor. I'm so posting stuff like that on purpose. Just to make people go, what?
Fake spoilers ahead.
Yeah, the Mandalorian shows up and Baby Yoda takes out. His name's not Baby Yoda anymore. His name's Fred.
I guess SNL did a skit. I guess their weekly update, they had a Baby Yoda skit, and it was horrible. I watched it. It was not funny.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone's jumping on the Baby Yoda bandwagon.
Well, yeah. I mean... Yeah,
I mean, episode 6 was great. It had Bill Burr was in it. So... Yeah.
I'm going to try to sneak in Friday morning.
Okay. That's why everyone's getting out of work early. No one wants to take Friday. No one wants to work Friday because everyone wants to go see the Star Wars.
Well, I haven't looked, but the last time I looked, the earliest, it was weird because it's like Avengers started as early as 9 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know anybody who's going to the Thursday night premiere.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure there are people I know who are going.
Yeah, your Star Wars RPG people. Yeah.
Yeah, or I have other friends who are like, "Oh, I'm going to be there the first night." And it's like,
I'm going to be the first one. Yeah. I guess there was an article I saw, a headline that there are some people are already in LA that are already camping out.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are.
People who are working from their laptops in line or in tents or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, this isn't 1999.
Yeah, especially considering the fact it's it's like, okay, the last time I checked, they won't even let me buy seats in advance without picking a seat.
Yeah, now your seats are spoken for. They're assigned seating, so...
Yeah, so what do you gotta get there early?
You don't have to race into the theater to be the seat you want, because I bought my seat back in October.
Yeah, really.
No.
Yeah, I don't get. I'm not a fan of that, but considering that exists pretty much everywhere now, there's a part of me where I'm like, why do I need to do that?
No, you don't have to camp out. Maybe just people just trying to relive those days. I mean, you ever see that documentary, Star Wars?
No, I didn't see it.
Where the people, the build up to episode 1, people did, for weeks, they camped out waiting for episode 1.
Yeah, but that was a lot different. I mean,
the internet was in its infancy, and like I said, you had to buy the seats. You had to run in and get the seat you wanted as fast as you could.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of.
I don't miss those days because I remember it was like getting late to the theater when you would only have like 1 or 2 trailers. Back in my day, if you didn't get to the theater early enough, I'm cold. If you didn't get there early enough, you'd have to sit way in front or way in the back, and you didn't get to sit exactly where you wanted.
Yeah, well, like I said,
So you're going to sneak in Friday morning and...
that's the plan.
Okay.
That's the plan. The irony is the first showing that I can get into is at 10:30 in the morning, and ironically, it's one of those seats where it's the reclinable ones with and it has the better sound, because the other one's at 11 and I have something I got to be in the afternoon, so I'm probably going to end up having to go to the little bit more expensive theater on Friday morning, but that's okay. No,
I guess I'm going to have to stay off the internet Thursday night into Friday morning. Friday during the day.
I've learned that as long as I'm careful, I should be okay. I found that, I don't know what it is, for some strange reason, people are willing to spoil things on TV shows faster than movies.
Yeah, we talked about this when Game of Thrones was ending.
Right, or just like, for example, it's like when like the whole Baby Yoda thing hit. I'm like, some people probably haven't seen it yet or haven't bought it yet. Is there a reason why you guys are all up on immediately talking about this now? I mean, it's been less than 24 hours. You want to give us a little time here?
Because it's cute.
Yeah, because it's adorable.
I don't know what it is about TV where it's like, it's okay to spoil shit. It's like, no, it's not okay to spoil shit because it's TV.
And not movies.
You still got to, I don't get it. It's very...
Very uncouth of you, sir.
I don't get it. I really don't.
Most disrespectful.
Yeah. I don't... Like I said, it's one of those... Like, I still remember, like, back in the day when The Sopranos happened, and it's like, okay, I haven't seen the ending yet, and I'm trying to avoid it. Everybody's using it all over the place. And it's even on, like, TV, and I'm like...
We all talked about it the next day at work. Because it aired on a Sunday night.
Right, and yet, at the same time, it's like, okay, the final Harry Potter book came out, like a book, and it's like, oh my god, don't spoil. Like, let me see if I understand this right. A book you don't want me to spoil, but I can't get to the end of this. I can't watch the end of The Sopranos without it being blasted everywhere.
It was a very polarizing ending.
Right,
and at first, I didn't like it.
It's just like...
At first, I didn't care for it.
You know what's funny? I still haven't seen the end. I still haven't seen the last season because of that.
Really?
Because I'm like, why do I need to go see it?
I watched that show religiously from start to end.
Oh, I was ready to. I was waiting for the time when I was gonna be able to get it on DVD or HBO, and I'm like, oh, I'll watch the last season. And then they kept spoiling things. Like, they told things like, oh, they killed Christopher. And I'm like, but, okay, now I can't watch it now.
God, it was 2007 when Sopranos ended.
Yeah.
I was really sad when they killed Bobby Bacala. He was the most relatable character. I mean, he was a good dude. He was still obviously, doing some bad stuff.
I believe HBO is working on a prequel.
Yeah, they were going to use James's son to do a prequel series.
Why does everybody think prequels are a good idea?
Because they can't have a continuation because James is dead.
Sure you could.
Well, I don't know.
Do you really need the same actor to play Tony's kid? You can pick up anybody to be Tony's kid.
Yeah, but will people buy into it, though? they'd rather do a period piece. I'd be okay with like a period piece miniseries, like a young.
What if you got Jamie Lynn Ziegler to be? I mean, it's not like Jamie Lynn Ziegler's doing a ton of stuff lately.
Hmm?
What if she ended up running the whole thing, and you could bring her back, and like she killed the brother or something? Who knows?
Or do a story about Tony's father. Oh well. Meh.
I don't know.
So we have anything else to cover?
For Star Wars, I'm. Why do I feel like I'm walking into this with "Please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck"? I really am.
I predict it will be better than The Last Jedi, which is feigning praise, but I think I will enjoy this. I think hopefully just as much as Episode 7. Right.
Well, I like I said, I think that's the problem. The problem that I'm having is now I'm sitting here with this "Please don't suck" when this is the last episode, and I should be like, "Oh my god, I'm so thrilled! This is amazing! I can't wait!" And then my reaction is, "Thanks, Rian Johnson, for fucking up my childhood. I appreciate that." Yeah, I don't know. Any other? So before we go, I guess anybody got good holiday stories or anything crazy that were?
Well, I mean, Star Wars has been like getting the Millennium Falcon as a kid, the toy, that one Christmas. It was either 79 or 80, it might have been, when I got the Millennium Falcon for Christmas. It was like one of the best Christmases in my life. Just because, that there was an awesome toy, the Millennium Falcon. It was a playset you could pick up and fly around the room. So, yeah, so Star Wars is, I remember it was the one year I got the X-Wing and I got AAA batteries instead of AA, so it couldn't do the electronics, which was just a light bulb. But I think maybe it did make a sound. Oh, well, anyway.
What about you, Scott? Anything from past holidays or anything, experiences that you remember? Any funny things? Any holiday trips? Any stuff?
I remember when I was about, I think it was 4 or 5, and my grandmother had the great idea to get me a set of drums.
Wow, she must have really hated your parents.
Well, my grandmother raised me.
Oh, okay. This is even better.
She regretted that one. I had our Christmases were very tame. The family would go to the relatives and stay for the weekend and, midnight mass, and then open presents and then go back, and it was a yearly routine and nothing very, very funny, so, no, not for me.
Jeff, what about you?
Not funny.
So I have two. One is ironic. So when I was a kid, we ended up going to Florida a lot. So we would drive down because my grandparents had an apartment down in North Miami Beach in that area. So at least for the winter. So we were driving down from Orlando because we had been in Disney World. And it's supposed to be like a 2-hour drive. And it's supposed to be pretty simple. It's like you go on the Florida Turnpike and then you make sure that you get to the I-95 exit, and then it's supposed to be boom, boom, no problem. Well, for some strange reason, my dad couldn't seem to find this exit. And so we ended up spending 6 hours on the highway.
Wow.
To the point of where at one point we had gone through this one toll booth for the third time. They felt so bad for us that they stopped traffic on both sides of the toll booth so that we could make a U-turn.
Oh no!
That's not embarrassing at all.
So we could do that, and then I don't know if we got a police escort or what it was to get onto the actual. Eventually, we found it, But we got there like we were supposed to have been there at, like at sunset. And by the time we got there, it was like almost 8-9 o'clock at night. And everybody's like, "What? This is before cell phones too." So everybody's like, "What happened? Oh my god!"
Better late than never.
Yeah.
And too proud to pull out the map.
No, it didn't seem to matter.
Jeez.
Because my mom was in the car and, just couldn't find the turn-off.
No.
And usually I was pretty good at finding turn-offs, and we weren't finding it, or I don't remember. All I remember is I was just like, we it was one of those things where it's like we're driving around the city of Miami. The second one, when I was, did I go to... Was the first year when I was 15? Yeah. So, like, I'm a sophomore in high school, and somebody got, like, a deal where a whole bunch of families ended up where we were going on one of these carnival cruises. So I get on the ship. We haven't even left dock yet. And one of the guys walks up to me and goes, "Hey, do you want our special alcoholic drink?" And I'm like, "What? Yeah, you want this?" I'm like, yeah. Keep in mind I'm 15. I'm not supposed to be able to drink anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's no, that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
But it was easy to do.
Well, once you get up to see, it's 18, but those guys serving didn't care. Needless to say, I was like, I don't think I was sober no, there were parts I was sober. There were parts I was sober because I had to be with family, but there were a lot of times I was not sober. And then the last night, I somehow got to the casino and made like $200 the last night.
Nice.
And was hanging around. And it was funny because for some strange reason, there weren't a lot of girls our age on that particular cruise line that time, but there were a whole bunch of college girls. And for some strange reason, I was able to hang out with them and get drunk.
There you go.
It was kind of fun. So there you go.
Actually, when I got to about 13, 14, when I was 13, we'd go to my aunt's house, and she's actually my great aunt, but my great aunt's house in Albany, and she handed me, my traditional eggnog. This year, though, it tasted a little different.
Yep.
Good old brandy in the eggnog. Boy, she wondered 2 days later where the hell all the brandy went.
God.
But yeah, I didn't see that as unusual. I was already drinking by then anyway, so that's why I said easy. Jeff, I was before we leave, I was thinking. You asked who do I think will be in the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Whoever the hell the refs want.
Yes.
It's not just Chicago. It's not just Chicago.
Yeah, it's not just the Packers who are favored.
No. It was actually very disgusting because I was watching the Bills game on Sunday Night Football. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers show. Everything they said was about the frickin' Steelers.
Yeah, it starts to... You know what it is? The Steelers are a national team. They have a national following because they've been so popular over the years, and so that's what ends up happening. The part I can't figure out for the life of me is like when the Bears are on TV. I get it when they're playing somebody like the Packers, okay, or the Cowboys, and they're on national TV, and we don't get as much time. But it's like when we were like on national TV when we're playing the Rams, and it's like all I want to do is talk about the Rams. And it's geez, Chris, come on.
The sports commentators don't like to throw any praise towards the Chicago Bears.
No. Although it was funny because it was funny though because on Thursday night they had to. Last Thursday they did when they absolutely trounced Dallas. That was fun. that was great. Because I don't think that's the last thing that they thought they were gonna have to do. was to be like, oh.
No,
well,
I'd rather have the Bears win against the Packers than the Cowboys.
It was so funny because I was watching after the game. It was all about that the Cowboys blew it, not the Bears winning.
No, it's about how,
yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, they lost. It's like, no. What were you watching? I don't. Yeah.
Well, the Cowboys, like you said, are a national team.
Yeah.
There are Cowboys fans all over the country.
But even when I learned broadcasting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from what I learned from my grandfather, who was a broadcaster, is when you do a national broadcast, you keep everything neutral.
Yeah, that don't happen no more.
No. And Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth are old enough to know that.
The sportscasters' biases are...
I can see it if it's a local broadcast.
Now. Oh, it's a lot more than that. There's other people who they have, even Joe Buck and Troy are like that too.
Oh, Joe Truck.
They do it.
Rhymes with.
Nance does it. I'm not shocked at, in fairness, I like Romo. But I'm not shocked when Romo's sitting there gushing over Brady or all those guys because he's a quarterback. I get it. Oh my God, it's Rodgers or those people. But so I get it. It's just, yeah, I swear that's half the reason why I can't stand watching the Patriots. Is okay. Who wants to suck Tom Brady's cock now? God.
Did you see that, Jeff? Did you see that reply that I sent about the refs to one of your posts? About it's not about who you know, it's who you.
Yeah. No. Hey.
Well, Brady does that too.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, like I said, in fairness, there are people who used to complain about, when the Colts had Manning, I would hear people go, yeah, your guys get a lot of calls too. I'm like, not like Brady does, and not like Rodgers does. We don't get those kind of calls. I wish. We have Peyton Manning. He's better than those guys. At least in my opinion, but hey, or we had Andrew Luck. It's like Andrew Luck not getting any calls either. Come on.
Oh, during the Giants games this week, the Giants got a lot of calls, and that's because it's supposedly rumored Eli's last home game.
Well, probably.
So, the refs were real nice to the Giants this week, and they still lost.
Well, in fairness, that'll be the other question that starts coming up that's the other question that's going to start coming up is whether or not, what's his name, Eli is a Hall of Famer or not. I don't know. We got time to debate that stuff. Especially not here if we don't want to, but, actually, you know what's funny? But the next time we do this show,
the season will be over.
We can all smoke a bong.
No thanks.
In Illinois.
Yes, you can if you wish.
No thanks.
It's still not legal in New York. It is in Massachusetts.
Well, it'll be very much legal in the state of Illinois, depending on where you live, because there's a lot of places for some strange reason that have decided they don't want to make things legal yet. And I'm like, what?
Well, they have to make it legal, but they don't have to make it legal to sell.
Right, or some weird shit.
Yeah, they're going through that in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, there are towns that love the idea. There are towns that say, no, we don't want a dispensary around us.
Yeah, there's already talk about a dispensary in Crystal Lake.
You want to hear a good one? Oh, wait, here's a good one. This is probably news of the squared stuff, but we'll do it here. So my mom is part of a senior center in the area. One of the trips they're talking about taking for seniors upcoming, a trip to the dispensary.
Hey, she could have some and take a walk in the woods.
420 friendly, Sonny.
Hey, that was fun. I was dying of laughter when I heard that. I'm like, okay. Kitty litter, it's real crunchy. You know? Sorry, I'm stealing Robin Williams material. Okay.
Okay.
I don't got anything else. Do you guys do? Or
the only other thing that I saw online real quick was they're having a second remake of All in the Family and the Jeffersons. Not sure when it is, but it's
doing another one of those live action ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be
live ones are obviously, but
it'll actually be after we this goes on air.
Yeah.
Actually, it'll be before this goes on air. I mean, it's the Wednesday night. It's Good Times and All in the Family. I'm curious to see what the numbers look like.
That's right.
Because they haven't done nearly the hype for this as they did in the summer. So, I don't know.
Apparently, as we're speaking, I think Jimmy Kimmel has on tonight the cast of Star Wars.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Minus Adam Driver.
Ah.
But Billy D, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega. Billy D. Williams, Colt 45 Malt Liquor.
Yeah,
how you doing there, Chewbacca?
He's not a guy. He doesn't identify as a guy.
I think he admitted he doesn't know what that means.
Did he? Okay.
At age 82.
That's possible.
Yeah.
That's really
but I know what that means. It means, hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving last month. I was trying to wish Jeff a happy Hanukkah.
And a Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, thank you.
And,
I'm going to watch some specials this week.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I love watching the specials, man. I still, back in the day, you had to wait until the night they aired, and everyone huddled around the TV because if you watched it, you didn't miss it that one night, you don't get to watch it until next year. So I like watching the specials, man. Year Without a Santa Claus, man. That's the Heat Miser, Snow Miser song. That's my jam. So, yeah. So I think that'll do for this week.
Yeah, no, that'll do it. That'll do it for this year.
2019. Me and Ivan might do a little something on the 30th, record some in time that'll go out on New Year's Eve. We'll see. But otherwise, I think that'll do for the year 2019. We appreciate everyone who's stuck around. So,
and how can they stick around even more?
They can stick around even more by using the power of the internet to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell. Subscribe. You'll know when new content drops. And shout out to our sister show, our sibling show, News of the Squared. You'll get the crazy news articles that we post to our Facebook page. You can follow us on Facebook. That'd be the easiest way to get a hold of us. We're on Spotify. We're on Anchor. We're on PodBean. We're on YouTube, obviously. We're on Apple and Google Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. We'd appreciate it. Or any other feedback or whatever, you can email us if you want to go that route as sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Ivan.
Yeah.
Ivan!
And, of course, before Christmas, I will post I'll share the YouTube video of Batman and Jimmy Save Christmas. My crowning achievement of my life.
Yeah, we need to do more of those types of things.
I wish we could. I wish we could. We had the production value. At least back then I had a studio. It's okay, man. So that'll do. So I appreciate everyone listening. Thank you, Scott, for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me. Happy holidays to whatever you celebrate or don't.
That's right. We don't judge here.
Exactly.
You pray to Gaia.
Unless you put ketchup on your hot dog. Then we judge.
Okay.
But it is okay. It's probably okay for a corn dog, though.
Yeah.
I dig corn dogs.
Yeah, corn dog. Well, that's not really a hot dog. That's a corn dog.
It's a hot dog with a penis-shaped bun. Come on.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Well, that reminds me there's going to be a story about something penis-shaped. Well, anyway, we'll get to that. Yeah. We'll get to that in News of the Squared. That's a News of the Squared story.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year's, everyone.
And may the Force be with us.
Yeah.